Hi, I'm Ted Santos, and I'll be talking about the diagnosis and management of shoulder dystocia. At the end of this lecture, one must be able to understand and define shoulder dystocia, identify the risk factors, and describe the alarmer approach in the management of shoulder dystocia. Shoulder dystocia or stuck shoulder is an obstetrical emergency which occurs when there's difficulty in the delivery of the fetal shoulders. It occurs in 0.2 to 2% of births and can be very devastating. Although it can be anticipated and prevented, shoulder dystocia can occur in the absence of risk factors. Therefore, the obstetrician must be prepared to recognize shoulder dystocia. Shoulder dystocia is a complication of vaginal delivery when the anterior shoulder of the fetus becomes lodged behind the symphysis pubis, preventing further delivery. This requires additional obstetric maneuvers to deliver the fetus after the head has delivered and gentle traction has failed. Less commonly, shoulder dystocia can result from impaction of the posterior shoulder on the sacral promontory. Anterior shoulder dystocia is more common and is caused by impaction of the maternal symphysis pubis. Less commonly, shoulder dystocia can result from the impaction of the posterior shoulder on the sacral promontory. Maternal risk factors include abnormal pelvic anatomy, maternal diabetes, postdated pregnancy, history of previous shoulder dystocia, maternal short stature, and obesity. Fetal risk factors include previous macrosomia and suspected macrosomia. For the labor-related risk factors, these include operative vaginal delivery, protracted active phase of first stage of labor, and protracted second stage of labor. However, over 50% of shoulder dystocia cases are not predictable and have no risk factors. That is why you need to be prepared for the possibility of shoulder dystocia in every delivery. The diagnosis of shoulder dystocia is made when the routine practice of gentle downward traction of the fetal head fails to deliver the anterior shoulder. It is very important to recognize shoulder dystocia so that the obstetrical team will manage it right away. The following are the signs of a shoulder dystocia. Number 1 is your turtle sign, wherein the fetal head is delivered but remains tightly applied to the vulva. Second is there is difficulty with delivery of the face and the chin. There's also failure of restitution of the fetal head and failure of the shoulders to descend. And now that we know how to diagnose shoulder dystocia, let's talk about the management. There's a very helpful acronym to remember the steps on how to manage shoulder dystocia, and it's called the alarmer. Let's use a case to go through the acronym and learn the management of shoulder dystocia. Carla, a gravida 1 para0, 40 weeks age of gestation, cephalic and labor. She has no medical problems and she has unremarkable prenatal history. The latest ultrasound was done with an estimated fetal weight of 3,700 grams. The epidural anesthesia was given at 6 cms, and now the IE is fully dilated. The fetal head now was delivered but retracts back to the perineum, giving us the turtle sign. In here, the routine practice of gentle downward traction of the fetal head fails to deliver the fetal shoulder. What are you going to do now? The alarmer is a helpful acronym to remember the steps on how to manage shoulder dystocia. Let's go through the acronym one by one and learn the management of shoulder dystocia. A stands for ask for help. Ask for help from your assistant, from the pediatrician, from the anesthesiologist, and from the nursing personnel. Provide simple and clear explanation to the woman about actions you are about to undertake. L stands for hyperflex both legs, which is the McRoberts maneuver. With knees bent to the chest, with the assist grasping the maternal leg. Shoulder dystocia often resolved by McRoberts maneuver alone, with a reported success rate of 90%. Hyperflexing the legs rotates the symphysis pubis and flattens the sacrum. This may be sufficient to relieve obstruction up to 42% of shoulder dystocia. If the shoulder dystocia persists, move on to the next step. A stands for anterior shoulder disimpaction. The first approach is abdominal approach, which is the Masanti's maneuver or the suprapubic pressure. With the woman in McRoberts positioning, the assist will apply a suprapubic pressure with the heel of the clasped hand on the posterior aspect of the anterior shoulder to dislodge it. Apply a steady pressure first, and if unsuccessful, apply a rocking pressure. Do not apply a fundal pressure. After the abdominal approach for the anterior shoulder disimpaction is the vaginal approach. These two vaginal approaches actually can be done simultaneously, and these are the Rubin's maneuver and the Wood corkscrew maneuver. R stands for Rubin's maneuver, where the anterior shoulder is adducted. The Rubin's maneuver involves applying pressure to the posterior aspect of the anterior shoulder. Push the shoulders from behind the scapula towards the face of the baby. This will rotate the shoulders into oblique diameter. Next is the Wood corkscrew maneuver. In here, we apply pressure on the anterior aspect of the posterior shoulder. The Wood screw is a screw-like maneuver wherein pressure is applied to the anterior aspect of the posterior shoulder in an attempt to rotate the posterior shoulder to anterior position. Curved arrow shows the rotation. In practice, the anterior shoulder disimpaction maneuver and Wood screw maneuver may be done simultaneously and repetitively to achieve disimpaction of the anterior shoulder. If this fails, move on to the next step. The next step is the manual removal of the posterior arm. In here, in an attempt to deliver the posterior arm, we have to insert 2 fingers and apply pressure on the antecubital fossa if the arm is not flexed. The hand is grasped, sweep across the chest to the face, and then deliver the posterior arm. E stands for episiotomy, and this can only be done or can be done anytime. Anticipate that episiotomy is only considered if there is not enough room for hand maneuvers, as shoulder dystocia is not a soft tissue problem. If after the manual removal of the posterior arm in dorsolaetotomy position fails, we now move to the next step, which is the R, which is roll onto all fours, or the Gaskins maneuver. The Gaskins maneuver placed the mother onto all fours position and in an attempt to manually remove the posterior arm. This maneuver takes advantage of gravity to facilitate the delivery of the posterior shoulder. However, if this still fails, we now move on to the next maneuvers. There are several last resort methods that can be considered. However, these are associated with increased fetal and maternal morbidities. In here, we place again the mother in dorsolaetotomy position, and we can perform the following procedures such as fracturing of the clavicle, symphysiotomy, and the Zavanelli. The Zavanelli's maneuver is a procedure where we place the mother in dorsolaetotomy position, the fetal head is rotated in occiput anterior position, flexing the head, push, and then rotate on occiput transverse position, disengage the fetal head, and perform the emergency cesarean section. After knowing all this, let's review the following key points. First one is that shoulder dystocia is an obstetrical emergency. Therefore, prompt recognition and management is very necessary. Shoulder dystocia occurs most often without any identifiable risk factors and can result in significant neonatal and maternal complications. The diagnosis of shoulder dystocia is made when routine downward traction of fetal head fails to deliver the anterior shoulder, and that should alarm you to perform the necessary maneuvers. Don't panic, be prepared, and remember the acronym ALARMER in the management of shoulder dystocia. It's also good to remember that ongoing care includes a clear explanation of events to the parents of what has occurred and to document in a timely and accurate manner. So can you remember the acronym ALARMER? Let's again have a review. A, ask for help. L. Legs hyperflex. A. Anterior shoulder disimpaction. R. Rubin's maneuver. M. Manual removal of the posterior arm. E. Episiotomy. And R is roll to onto all fours. I think this is my last slide. Thank you for listening.